Welcome to the Real Estate Marketing Podcast. My name is Jerome Lewis. I'm your host for today. The Real Estate Marketing Podcast is a podcast where we talk marketing, tech, business, and leadership. We talk these things for real estate agents, real estate investors, and real estate entrepreneurs. The Real Estate Marketing Podcast is a podcast that has two purposes. Purpose number one, to educate and inform our audience and listeners. Purpose number two, Darin, to spotlight you, your business, your service, or your product in a way that provides value to you, including market exposure and content creation. With that, we have a very special guest, Darin Dawson. Darin Dawson is the co-founder and president of BombBomb, a human-centered communication platform that enables users to use simple, personal video messages to leverage their best asset, themselves. Darin leads all sales, marketing, customer success, and product development at BombBomb, a fast-growing Colorado-based software company. He is on a mission to rehumanize the planet, and he wants to start with your business communication. He believes that human beings have intrinsic value and that every person deserves to be seen, heard, and understood. That's why he co-founded BombBomb. Darin, I'm excited that you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. That's a great intro. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, Darin, one of the things that I like to do is I always like to people to tell us in their own personal words how they got to where they got to. So tell us how you got here today and how you started BombBomb in your own words.
That could be the entire time we have, but I'll try and shorten it up. I mean, so me and my buddy Connor, we were sales and marketing guys. You know, I was running a sales team and so was he. And we just thought it would be better to send a video. We thought we were better in person. We think most people are. And the whole point of sales is to get in person. Typically, you're making phone calls, you're sending emails. The whole point is to get in person. And so we want to use our abilities, our passion and our enthusiasm. That's the transfer of those things is sales, right? We thought, man, it'd be so cool if we could send a video to tell people what we were doing and see if they want to spend more time learning about that. But there was no service that did that. And this was in 2006. Okay, so it's a long time ago. At that point, there was not a camera in the iPhone. YouTube was privately held. Google did not own it yet. So it was just early, and email was just kind of still newer tech, believe it or not. So no one did that. And we kind of cobbled together. We literally put a server in Connor's closet, hosted a video on it, and sent it out to the customers that he had. He was working for an outdoor billboard company. And everybody went crazy for it, but they went crazy for like, how did you do that? How did you put a video in this email kind of thing? So we thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Let's build this company. Now, we didn't know anything about building a tech company. This was early. Nowadays, I think there's a lot of ways you can get into that, but there was not necessarily a lot of venture capital for those things. And, we had to find ways to build software. We did all that. I'll fast forward to about 2012. I finally quit my day job and go full-time with BombBomb. We rolled out one of our first events that we ever went to was a Keller Williams event. It was called Family Reunion. That actually just occurred again last week. We sold about 400 accounts in maybe 3 hours. We're like, I think this will work for real estate. So we focused there. Now we probably have, upwards in 80-something thousand real estate agents using BombBomb in 48 different countries. So, real estate is an effective place to use video. We focus on what we call our trusted advisors. So those are real estate professionals, mortgage professionals, insurance, lawyers, financial advisors. We find that all of these people have some things in common. One is that a human being is necessary in the transaction. Like, you're doing something physically in it. And number two is it's a complex transaction that not many people know how to do very often. So I need someone to walk me through it. And three, all those people depend on repeat and referral business. And we find that video helps in all three of those things. And so we focus on serving those communities.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So going through and researching some of what you do, I grabbed me a couple of questions. And one of the things you talk about a lot is customer experience. Can you tell us what that means and why it matters from your perspective?
Yeah, the customer experience is all about all the touch points that you provide to the clients you work with throughout the entire time they work with you. I'm glad you brought this up because this is a big part of what we think that let's think about when you first get a lead or a new opportunity or introduction, maybe from a past client. That's the first touch point. So what's that feel like to that person? We focus more on the feel, okay? And then maybe they go through a transaction with you. You close that transaction. Then you're not done, because a lot of people forget that there's a lifetime value to that customer, because that person should transact with you again, maybe 2 or 3 times in their life, let alone the amount of referrals they might bring to you. So each one of those customers, if you can create a better customer experience when they don't forget about you, that makes it easy for you to be referred and remembered, they're going to give you far more value than just that first one and only transaction, right? But I think a lot of us forget that, because I think the stats are in the 80s that we get the first transaction, but we don't get the second. And sometimes we don't get the referral. I think it's a big miss. We spend all this money trying to drive leads, spend a ton of money on leads. I want to help you keep the leads you got, transact with them more, because of the experience you bring. And I think that, getting back to the introduction you gave me, I believe humans have intrinsic value. Our interactions with each other, we build trust with each other, we build relationships, empathy, all these things. And I think that's hard to do through the technology we have today. That's why BombBomb exists, to help you utilize your best attributes to build those relationships, build a better customer experience, and then hopefully a longer lifetime value and a bigger lifetime value for each of these interactions that you have. Especially today, I mean, we got to be careful with the opportunities we get, right? We got to make more of what we're offered. I think in the last 3 years, and this is cyclical, you've been in the business a long time, I've seen this before. When the market gets lower, we start to invest in relationships, because we got to be careful with every opportunity. But in the last 3 years, when things were hot and heavy, we might have got a little lax about that. So we're really calling people to reinvest in relationships. We believe that the future of 2023 and 2024 lives in your database and the people that you know, reinvesting in the deals you've done before and try and increase the lifetime value of those people.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And within marketing, like the one of the most where you spend the most money is acquiring the customer. Once you have the customer, it's great, but you spend so much money trying to acquire that customer. So what you're saying is correct. Like, reinvest in customers that you already have; they'll bring you referrals, etc. So, next question I have for you. I always talk about, like, I got students, and I'm like, one of the best things you can do is like go do video, and I give them my reasons why. But I would like to hear from your perspective on why we should be using video in our communication, in our sales messages.
So I don't know about you, but I think, let me back up. So if a landscaper came to your house and they were selling you something, they're landscaping, and really it's the same. The design is the same. The cost is the same. Everything's the same. If all those things are the same, how do you decide which landscaper to go with?
You would have to go with, maybe if you like the person, relationship. There can be many factors.
I mean, we want to bake this into something it's not. It really comes down to people. People want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And I think what happens is, right now we get so caught up in using technology. Technology makes you all look the same. We all look the same behind technology. We all look like, in an email, it's black text and a white screen, right? But we don't look like that, do we? So how can we build that relationship? Humans, when we meet each other in the grocery store, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Where are you from? This is what people do. And so I think video gives you this unique ability to do that in an inbox and stand out and be different than everybody else, because you are. Your experience is different. Your worldview is different. All these things matter to building a relationship, and then letting that person say, I want them to transact one of the biggest financial things in my entire life. I feel good about that. I think we can do that better face-to-face, human to human, than we can any other way. And so I can give you a very practical way in doing that right today. If you have people you worked with in the past, I don't care. Listen, if you haven't talked to them in 5 years, that's really bad. If you haven't talked to them in 4 years, that is bad, but it's okay. They will forgive you. Email them with a video and just say, how's it going? Hey, it's Darin. How's the family? How's the house? Hope you guys are doing well. Just want to check in, see how things are going. Let me know if I can update you on anything that's going on in the market. Have you had any thoughts of selling this summer at all? I got that line, by the way, from my buddy Tom Ferry. It's one of the, I love it. Just so simple. Have you had any thoughts of selling this summer? That simple, open ended. And if you haven't, that's totally great. Oh, by the way, I'll tie this into, I'm going to go Tom Ferry into Brian Buffini. Oh, by the way, if there's anybody you know that's looking to move or sell their home, I'd love to help them. Start to do that twice a day. Are you busy? How busy are you? Once a day then. And see what you get going on in your database. I've challenged people a lot with that simple script. It's never failed to generate income. You will get a referral if you just deliberately do it. Does that help? Does that answer your
That
question?
does that does help. And so you mentioned BombBomb. One of the things that I'm really impressed with, because I come from a tech perspective, I come from a background. One of the things that I really admire and appreciate about BombBomb is how it makes video easy to send. Because typically, especially nowadays, you got these smartphones, they got all this power and they deliver all these pixels, and it's like it can make things difficult to send a video. So can you talk to us about BombBomb and how it makes it easy to send these videos over email?
You bet. So we have two core competencies at BombBomb. One, the first one you're touching on is speed to video. You make it very easy for you to create and send a video. And the second one is guidance to success, kind of that script I just gave you. Want to help you know what to say and when to say it. Let's go back to speed to video. We work where you work. So if you're using Outlook, we have an extension for Outlook. If you use Gmail, we have an extension for Gmail. Work right inside Gmail. We work inside Chrome. We work inside LinkedIn. We work inside Messenger. We work inside, I think, 90% of all real estate CRMs. We have a native integration built right in. So wherever you're trying to communicate with that prospect, current client, past client, you can typically click a BombBomb icon in any of those places, create it. It kind of counts down 3, 2, 1, do your video, hit stop, hit save. Boom, you're done, hit send. And then the best part is, what happens after you send it. You might be thinking, I can do this with my phone. There's a couple problems with the phone. One of the phone problems is that it creates massive videos, right? This phone, I had the new one. The videos are massive. And so it's almost a huge file. And then also it's an attachment. With BombBomb, we show you the exact, your face shows up in the inbox, okay? So put on at least a nice shirt. You don't have, you can keep shorts on, but you got to have a nice shirt on, right? So be presentable. So when they see that email, they're going to see your face and go, oh, this is different than the 5,000 emails I get a day, right? And then they're going to play that. Now, when they play that video, BombBomb lets you know that video has been played. Wouldn't you like to know that? Jerome, if it's someone you send an email to, that maybe you want to be on the podcast, and then they never answered your email, but if they opened it 3 weeks from now, that'd be good for you to know, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
If it's a real estate lead and they're ghosting you, they're not getting back, you're wondering what's going on. If you knew that they opened that thing up in 3 weeks, I think I would call them then, right? So BombBomb gives you all that data to tell you what's going on with your communication. And by the way, we track not only the video emails, we track every email being sent out of Gmail and Outlook. It's baked right in. So we give you visibility to what's happening in your inbox in a different way.
Thank you for sharing that. One of the problems that I find that agents have is like they think that all of the video has to be sales and marketing. And I'm like, no, just think about video. Like you can use it for those purposes, but I also want you to think about it as a communication device. So can you shed some light and some insight on that?
I just saw one of the best examples of this. And this works in social media too. My buddy, Jesse Peters, shout out to Jesse for listening. And he's up in Canada. He uses video for market updates. And today it's pretty cold where he lives. He's all in a giant parka, and all you can see is like his eyes. It's fantastic. I'm like, that's the best click video ever, because I just want to know what's going on here. And it's kind of like, spring coming soon to Canada, but he's all parked up. It's pretty funny, but he does a great market update. And just send that to everybody. So in BombBomb, you can actually send that market update to everyone in your database. So you can load your database in the BombBomb and send that out. You can also send that through your CRM if we integrate with it. And then Jesse took that same video and he put it on Instagram. And I saw it this morning. I'm like, love that, dude. That's a fantastic way to use it. But keep people, be the guide. You need to be the guide. You need to be, remember I said there's 3 things. One's that we help this trusted advisor. The second piece of trusted advisor is it's a complex thing that you help people sell or go through. So you need to be the advisor in that. And so a market update is just frankly one of the simplest things you can do. 12 times a year, send it to everyone you've ever worked with or come in contact with, and let them know what you think about the market. That, spring is coming. We actually expect maybe the rates can start going down, but look, you know what to say. They're better than I do. Communicate it to your database.
Thank you. So one of the things that's really prevalent and everybody's is either excited or scared about right now is AI and artificial intelligence. And I'm one of the excited people because I understand that I can take my human side, right? And I can couple it with the AI. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I want you to talk about like rehumanizing and why it's even more important with AI coming out, because everybody has the information available, like you talked about. We're a trusted advisor. All the information is out there. Is like, okay, what's different from you? I can plug this stuff into a AI interface and it tells me everything that I need. So now more than ever, I think that it's time to rehumanize. So could you talk about that and talk about why that matters?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree. I like AI. I like everything that we're learning from that. But like you said, you gotta tell it what to say, and then it can tabulate that information and go grab it from the web. Again, you had this opportunity to be that advisor. Use it to your advantage. Use AI to your advantage to maybe write the script for your video, even write the email for you. But you want to be the one delivering that guidance to the folks that you work with. I think we're tech folks. I think we like to talk about this, frankly, more than most maybe of their clients actually are aware of what's going on there as well. I'm kind of in this antithetical way to the AI. I want salespeople in general. We serve a lot of salespeople at BombBomb. I think there's an attempt to commoditize the salesperson or remove them from the transaction. I don't think this happens in real estate as long as we stay in front of this and make sure that we are the guide in this complex transaction. I want BombBomb in the future. I think I'm going to play this game a little bit different, Jerome. I want BombBomb to be that when you get a BombBomb, so when I receive one, I'm like, oh, this is from a real person for sure. Like stamped, almost like trusted, like 100% this came from a real person, not some automated thing. And I believe that, look, when I get done with this talk with you, I'll probably have 50 to 70 emails unwanted, straight up, easy, right? It's just getting crazy. We call it digital pollution. It's just constant and it's ever evolving. So how do you break through that? You got to break through that with something completely different than that. And that's where BombBomb's headed. That's what I want to enable my users to be, is this anti-AI almost. Like when you get this, it's just for you and it's from me and it's really sincere and it shows empathy and it shows gratitude and all these human characteristics that I think you could fake it, but I think I get smarter every day of what's AI and what's not. And we start to like trigger in that, right? So now, look, if you get an email from anybody and it says Jerome,
Right, right.
do you believe it's from a human?
No.
No. And no one else does either. So unfortunately, we just fall into that trap. It used to be like 5 years ago, if I sent you an email, you'd feel like I need to respond to him. Even if you weren't interested in whatever I was talking about, you'd say, you know what, thanks, but I'm not interested. It's called reciprocity. It's actually a human connection. We don't feel reciprocity anymore because we don't believe it's really human. Only humans deserve reciprocity, right? Robots don't. So I think there's this evolution where if we continue to proliferate this escalation, if you will, that there's going to be a dulling of the effectiveness of some of the communication channels that we have. And I think that's happening today. And I want to be there to help you counteract that.
Thank you. So what I would like to do is I think you hit on it a little bit earlier when you were talking about BombBomb and how it came to fruition. But I think the business insights and the business knowledge that you picked up can really help like the audience. So tell us the growth story of BombBomb, right? Maybe in a little more detail or maybe a little brief, and then tell us how you reached the 20 million in annual recurring income. Like,
Happy to report we're well past that now. But I think that we started in real estate. So everyone listening to this podcast, you are my people. I love you. I sat in Tom Ferry seminars and Brian Buffini seminars and Jared James seminars, and I count them all as friends of mine now. And I think that I learned a lot about, the problems that y'all face, and we love working with real estate agents, and we still do, and that's still one of our biggest segments. Right next to them is our mortgage segment. So we work with thousands of mortgage loan officers, right? It's funny because I think a loan officer might have been one of our first customers. If I had to pick top 10 or first 10 customers, it'd been a church, a realtor, a mortgage loan officer, and like a landscaper. We've really been across the board, and we still have this wide spread. So as we got into real estate, we really grew. We did a lot of trade shows. So, Remax trade show, what's going on right now, Keller Williams, all EXP, all of them. We have customers in every single one of those big brands, and a ton of the independents as well. But then we transitioned. We got going into the mortgage space as well. So we got great customers in mortgage like United Wholesale Mortgage, Rocket Mortgage, Movement Mortgage, Guaranteed Rate. A lot of great mortgage customers. We love them as well. And then we got into financial advisors. So we have several large financial advisor companies that work with BombBomb. Farmers Insurance is a customer. We got more into insurance. So again, though, it's this trusted advisor. And the reason I think all those people gravitated towards us was because of those things I talked about in the beginning. Like, we help trusted advisors stand out, talk about a complex thing. So in BombBomb, you can do a screen recording, right? And walk through what the home value is when you give them a value of their home. Walk that through with them, help them understand, use video to lighten the blow if it's lower than what they think, and they're all like that right now, right? So we help you deliver that communication, I think, in a better, more human way, and then you can go meet with them, but they've already gotten the information in a better way. Don't let them read it for themselves. Walk them through it. It's an easy way to communicate. So we've had a lot of diversity in our customer base now, and we still have, everything from the landscaper to the banker, right? And everywhere in between. But I think our home has always been in real estate in a lot of ways.
Thank you. How can someone, this is a selfish question because I like to add value to my guests, but also when people come on, other people that are learning from people, they want to learn. And I'm like, you can't just go picking people's brain. You got to think about how you can add value to them. So the question I pose is, how can someone add immediate value to you or your business?
Well, I have a bigger goal with BombBomb. So the answer to the question is going to be a little deeper. So I'm on a mission to rehumanize your business if you're listening to this, but I'm really on a mission to rehumanize the planet. Connor and I started this business. He had taken a trip to Africa, and we have some very dear friends of ours over there, and they started an orphanage there. Now they have a K-12 school. There's a lot going on, and we really want to help marginalized people. And we struggled with this. Like, we do a lot in our own community. We're in Colorado Springs. We support a lot of nonprofits through our business. But I realized that the way to untap that would be to enable our users to give away BombBomb accounts to nonprofits that they care about. So if you want to add value to me and my mission in my life, which is to rehumanize the planet, with BombBomb, you can get a free account for a nonprofit. So I believe it's bombbomb.com/nonprofit. And every nonprofit can get a free BombBomb account. Likewise, any educator can get a free BombBomb account. We let that up during the pandemic, try to enable and help our educators do better to communicate with the classroom that was now removed from them. But we found that a lot of educators, I think we signed up probably 300 or 400 educators this month already. So people are gravitating towards that as well. But if there's a nonprofit that you're passionate about, and for us, we classify this, I don't need you to, but if people are being dehumanized and marginalized in our world, I want that nonprofit that's serving that marginalized community to have a BombBomb account. So maybe they can raise more money or get more people helping them or communicate their message better. So that's how. Go get an account and give it to the nonprofit that you're passionate about.
I appreciate that. So the next question is very similar. It might be a little tricky. because you answered it. How can someone add long-term value to you or your business?
I'm just gonna say it again.
Same
Like if
thing.
you're
Okay.
like, I would love you to be a BombBomb client. I really would, of course. But I mean, look, I think that our business, I want people to come work at BombBomb to care that it has to be about more than making money. It just has to, I think. For me, it does. And so when you work at BombBomb and you pick up the phone, you know you're part of a bigger story. Yes, we make money. Yes, we're interested in profitability, all of those things. But at the same time, I believe that humans are intrinsically valuable, and I want to carry that message forward. And we're rehumanizing the planet. That's the point. So long-term value, my dent in the universe is that, not cash in my bank account. That's a byproduct, I think, of trying to get after our big, hairy, audacious goal.
Thank you. So the next question, we might have to split it up, or it's going to depend on your feedback. So the question that I typically ask the audience, that I ask the guests, is, what are 3 books you recommend to the audience and why? But so I would like to ask you that question straight up, but I would also like you to talk about your books. So how do you think we should handle that? You want to give 3 books and then talk about your 2 books, or what do you want?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. So 3 books that you recommend and why, and then we'll talk about your books.
You caught me at the office today. I read a lot of books. Gosh. I think I'm going to go with a Dave Ramsey book.
Okay.
Or any of these, Millionaire Next Door. I think that one of the problems entrepreneurs have is that we don't live underneath our means long enough to make it. Does that make sense? So
yes.
Anything to do with managing your resources, I think that, we have this side, we won't lower expenses to make our dream happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you're an entrepreneur and you're in real estate, look, don't fall into the trap. Don't do it. Like, make money, save money. Don't take the trip to Italy unless you've done this for 20 years. Like, I just see right now too many people, we made a bunch of money and we just spent it. So I think about these books in terms of, this is how you play the long game and you become a millionaire for a long time. So it's any of these books, but Millionaire Next Door is one of my favorite books. I forget the author. It's like mandatory reading for my kids. They can't leave the house without reading that book. I think the other one that kind of goes along with that is Think and Grow Rich. There's a lot of new stuff. Look, I'm old school. I'm 48. I came up listening to Brian Tracy and Zig Ziglar and all these folks. I think there's a mindset that goes into this business as well. I'm trying to think to the crowd a little bit, because I read too much, frankly, and SaaS books. I don't think it's relevant, right? So I think Think and Grow Rich, or the book that gives you the mindset you need, or Gary Keller's book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's a mindset to make it in this business. You got to be consistent. You're going to have downturns. You must know that. You're going to have high times and low times, and you got to plan your business accordingly. Okay, so I think that'd be another one. My third one, man, I might go. Oh, man, it's a tougher one. Three's tough. I should have been more.
You gave us 3. You gave us Think and Grow Rich, Millionaire Next Door, and you gave us Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Yep. So you want to give another one, or?
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about your books. I saw, and I was researching you. You have 2 books. I want you to tell us about both of those and why we should purchase those.
Yep. So the first one is called Rehumanize Your Business, and both books were written by Steve Passanelli and Ethan Butte. And Steve is our Chief Marketing Officer, and Ethan is our Chief Evangelist, host of our podcast, the Customer Experience Podcast. The first one is really a framework about how to do video in general. So, look, one of the problems we didn't really talk about is you don't like the way you look on camera, and you don't like how you sound. And the way you hear yourself in your head is not how others hear you. So we really tackled that elephant in the room, if you will. And then we give you a 4-part framework to work through, to think about your audience, think about your message, then deliver it, and then hit send. So it's just really a systematic approach to benefiting yourself. Like, In a lot of ways, videos like my Peloton. I love my Peloton. If I get on it in the morning, I will lose weight and I'll meet my health goals and I'll live longer and all these goals, all these things I want to do. Video is like that as well. If you use video, you will make more money. You will set more appointments. You will have a better outcome that you want. The problem is there's like my Peloton, it hurts to ride the thing.
Yeah.
Like, and so video has this barrier to it because of really our world tells you to soften the way your face looks and like to use virtual backgrounds, telling you you don't look good enough to be on video. I'm here to tell you do, and people care about you and how you look. It's okay. It's okay. Look at me. I'm doing video every day. I've sent over 20,000 videos. You can do it. Okay. But there's a problem with that. So that book is designed to help you get over that hump and create a habit out of sending video. The second book is the case against digital pollution. Jerome, I'm spacing. What's my second book? Also
let me look at it for you. So you talked about human-centered communication. We got human-centered communication and rehumanize your business.
Long day. Human-centered communication, the case against digital pollution. This book has 12 different authors. One of them is the CEO of Remax, former CEO of Remax, Adam Contos, good buddy of mine. And it's about their experience with video and how to have a human approach, mostly about what we've been talking about this entire time, and why we think that video is a better way to communicate versus the onslaught that really the pandemic brought this about and brought this book about, because everyone just escalated because we're all inside, the amount of email and stuff and LinkedIn messaging we're sending. And this book's about the antithesis to that, which is how do we build relationships, deep relationships, and at scale. I mean, there's a way to do that, and that book covers that. So, that's the story of 12 different leaders and how they adopted video to better their businesses.
Could you tell us, I would like to hear more about your podcast. Didn't know you had a podcast. So could you tell us more about that, please?
The podcast, you asked the same question. It's the Customer Experience Podcast, hosted by my good buddy, Ethan Butte. He's worked with me here at BombBomb for 12 years. Kind of consider him another co-founder. He's been with me a long time. He and I worked in a TV station for 7 years before that. So he's a fantastic interviewer. And we have a lot of different people on that podcast. But the first question you ask everyone is, in your definition, what does customer experience mean to you? He recently, it's one of my favorite ones, and I got to see the preview. He interviewed a guy named Scott Mann, who's a former lieutenant colonel that wrote a book called The Pineapple Express. And he helped coordinate civilian evacuation from Afghanistan in 2021. So he's a former Green Beret, fantastic story, great book. That's my pleasure reading, his history reading. So it's the first book that came to mind is The Pineapple Express. It's a great book about that whole ordeal that as we left Afghanistan and some people that were left behind and how he helped coordinate getting a lot of them out. Thousands of them. It's a great story. So we have business leaders. I think we hosted people from Beezer Homes. We do a lot of home builder, a ton of home builders use BombBomb across the country as well. We, just different people from different walks of life, most all of them in sales and marketing or business leadership in some way, in some form.
Trusted advisors. So I'm going to go back up and ask you a selfish question. How can I like to collect books. You can see it in my background. So I would like to know how I can get a signed copy of each book. I want them signed by you. How can I do that?
Probably make that happen. I can probably, after we're done here, walk over to Ethan and be like, hey, dude, send this dude a book.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to wrap up. Real estate is like, we call it the closing table. That means it's time to close it down. So that's why part of my show, I call it the closing table. It means we're wrapping up. Time for the closing table. What is one question you wish I had asked you, and how would you have answered it?
Oh, man. Dude, you got some good questions, man. Should have done the homework more. I did listen to the podcast, but I don't know. You covered a lot. We talked about the fear of video. I think we skirted around it. It's a real thing. Usually I get into that a little bit more, but I want everyone to know that if that's you and you have that, we help you with that. It's our second core competency is guidance to success. So we partner with all those coaches I've mentioned too, and they help us help you as well. And so we've had a lot of experience of how to getting real estate agents successful using video and overcoming that fear and how they look. We realize that we don't trivialize that. It's a real fear, and we need to acknowledge that. It's okay to think that. Like I said, though, I think social media is kind of tricking us into thinking we got to like polish our faces. I don't think you do. I think you can be professional and authentic and transparent and real. You're going to be the person they meet and sit down at the closing table with and do that deal. Let's get in front of that and introduce you to your future clients, your existing ones, repeat business. Let's help you build that business and build it for a long time. So I guess that's how I'd answer that.
Thanks. I appreciate you sharing that. And similar to you, like in my experience, most people there's like all these things they say, right, on why they can't do video, but the real underneath the core is like confidence. It's personal and
Bingo.
self-confidence is what the main issue is, and they want it to be fancy and buttoned up and edited. And I do videos myself, so I practice what I preach. And I have this raw video where I'm just there for 30 seconds, and I'm telling them, "Hey, I'm in real estate. Do you want to sell your house to me? Come do it." It's like really simple, and that's been working because it's so simple and because it's so authentic. So I appreciate you sharing.
I couldn't have said it better. I love it. Now, listen, what I was going to tell you is that the other, writer of that book is right there in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. He lives not too far from Philly. He lives in Philly, born and raised. So Steve Passanelli is our chief marketing officer. Lives right there, and you guys can meet for coffee, get a sign.
Okay, awesome. I would
remember, you're in Philly where Steve lives.
Okay, that would be maybe he can come. Maybe he could be a guest on the podcast or something like that too. So I would be happy to figure something out. Okay, how can listeners find out more about you online?
Yeah, the best place for me is LinkedIn. So what I always request is just give me on LinkedIn, send me a personal note. You don't have to send me a video. Just be like, hey, loved you on Jerome's podcast. It was great. Appreciate you. And then, we will connect. That's the easiest place to find me.
Awesome. So I had another guest. Of course, she's in real estate, and she does a bunch of short sales. And on her podcast, I was on her podcast. We did a podcast swap, and she's like, I always limit my guests to one word because sometimes people give too much of a closing statement. So I adapted her framework, and I always post to my guests like, if you could close us down with one word, what word would that be?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay. Tell us why.
Yeah, listen. We do stand-ups here every morning. Again, our BombBomb, we're trying to be about something more. I'm grateful for where this company has gone and the people that are listening, that our customers. Thank you for your business. I sincerely appreciate it. Know that we're trying to do something bigger with BombBomb and who we are as a company. And I'm grateful to be given this opportunity to do it, and grateful to work with the people I work with, to be on your podcast with you and learn more just about everyone and everything that's going on around me. It's a great life, and I'm happy to have it, and I'm grateful for it.
Darin, I appreciate you so much. This has been excellent. 40 minutes went by like it was nothing. I'm gonna close us. I'm gonna close the podcast out. I'm gonna want you to stay on for 5 more minutes so we can hash things up. But thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Jerome.